Hello, hello, hello. Hello, and welcome to today's August 9th daily news report, as well as ongoing stimulus check package information video. If you're a subscribed member of my community, then welcome back. And if you're not, consider subscribing right now so I can keep you up to date on what's going on in Washington, D.C., the U.S. economy, money, investing, and much, much more. All right, I hope you had a great weekend and happy Monday. Don't forget that Casey and I are giving away $10,000 in cash to our community thanks to generous sponsors. And this is what's going to happen. 5 people are going to win $1,000 and 20 people are going to win $250. This is our way of helping with a little extra spending money in the community. And as a way of saying thank you for helping get us to 1 million, I'm going to leave a link below. Now, I want to thank today's video sponsor, Mack Weldon. It's a great clothing company, and I'll tell you more about them later in the video. All right, now the final vote from the Senate will happen sometime this week, according to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Now, this is regarding the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill. We need this bill done so that we can move on. I'm hearing rumors that it could be early tomorrow morning, but nothing is set in stone that I could see, as there are still a few amendments that they are working through. Now, Schumer had this to say: Democrats are ready and willing to vote on additional amendments to the bill before moving to final passage. Once again, this will require the cooperation of our Republican colleagues. I hope they will cooperate so we can move more quickly. Otherwise, we'll proceed by the book and finish the bill. So he's saying, listen, we've come this far as a bipartisan bill. We're willing to go just a little bit further. But if you don't work with us, then we're just going to go by the book, close everything down, and go to a final vote. Now, the only way this falls apart is if Democrats can't get 10 Republicans in the final vote. But since they've had between 17 and 18 on the preliminary votes leading up to this final vote, it's looking like this is going to be a done deal. Even Senator John Thune, who is just under Mitch McConnell, said this deal is done. If Democrats would allow Republicans to add a few amendments, they would likely get more than 18 Republicans on board. Then Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer can move on to the $3.5 trillion stimulus package, or the American Families Plan. So it's likely a done deal, but I've seen crazier things, but it's not likely that the 18 Republicans will suddenly back out. All right, now I have a lot more to tell you about how this will likely go forward and another major area where this could fall apart, but let me tell you about today's video sponsor. I want to thank today's video sponsor, Mack Weldon. People are shocked that after 8 years of working from home, I still wake up and get dressed to look nice every single day. The truth is, long ago, I decided to dress for the level of success and income that I wanted to make. And I love how Mack Weldon clothing for men helps me to dress nice and look professional while feeling comfortable. Now, one of the best investments that you can make is in your own wardrobe, and Mack Weldon's is a very modern yet classic style of men's clothing. So whether you want to look nice for work or a loved one, or want to get the man in your life something new to wear, I promise you Mack Weldon's won't disappoint. In fact, my favorite item with Mack Weldon's is the Sunday lounge pants. They're ridiculously comfortable, but they look professional, and I just love the modern cuff at the bottom of the pant leg. Now, for my community members only, you're going to get 20% off. So head over to mackweldon.com/Stephen Gardner to check them out. I'm going to leave a link below, and make sure to use the code Stephen Gardner to get 20% off your first order. All right, now let's get back to the news. One of the big areas of contention is actually not between Democrats and Republicans, but between Democrats and Democrats. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she is proud of the work Senator Schumer has done on the $1.2 trillion spending bill, but plans to shelve it to collect dust until she has the $3.5 trillion spending bill in her hands. Now, moderate House Democrats are now begging for Pelosi to make the infrastructure bill a standalone bill. They say Pelosi is purposely dragging this out, helping the American people by not separating the two bills. They say we can't get money to the people as fast if you don't allow this to be a standalone bill. But Pelosi says she knows what she's doing and that she plans to hold her ground. So once again, we see Speaker Pelosi holding up getting policy passed in the name of passing it later. So she's never against passing it, just always passing it later. Now, if she wants to pass, it might be that she wants to pass this closer to the elections. Or it could be that she's thinking Democrats won't be able to pass a Democrat-only bill, which requires no Republican support. So maybe it's actually that she's lost faith in her party's ability to pass Democrat-only bills that don't need Republican help. Honestly, I personally can't understand why she's wanting to combine the two and make it take longer for her party to get something through, right? Like, she's taking the long way to a very short path. I don't understand it, right? I also can't fully understand why, if Democrats controlled the House, the Senate, and the White House, and Pelosi has a slam dunk bill, why not slam dunk it? Again, I don't understand the thinking of Speaker Pelosi. Now, 6 moderate Democrats called on Pelosi in a letter to immediately take action and take up the bill. These 6 say Pelosi is blocking the ability for them to even work on the $3.5 trillion spending package, which has all the human infrastructure stimulus. So they're saying, listen, this is on you, right? Okay. Now, again, that's the moderate Democrats coming after Pelosi over in the House, not in the Senate. Okay. So now on the other side of Congress, you have the Senate working hard to pass a bill that Pelosi promises to put on a shelf. On the Senate side of Congress, you have Schumer promising that he will pass the $3.5 trillion bill this week. He promised it will be done this week, okay? Now, Democrats are also saying that please start writing the bill. Like, if you say it's going to happen this week, then start writing the bill this week. This is what they had to say, quote, these specifics are crucial, particularly given the combined threat of rising inflation, national debt, and trillions recently and appropriately allocated to the COVID-19 emergency. Okay. Now, so they're saying, listen, we need to be conscious of a lot of things right now, but we don't even know what you want to put in writing. Okay. So this is supposed to be the big week for Senator Schumer to get things done and keep major promises. And I'm praying that he does, right? By the way, thank you guys so much for giving these videos a like. I really, really appreciate it. And I just love bringing my community the news. All right. Now, a new poll shows that the number one worry among Americans right now is inflation and the rising cost of living. Rent is going up, groceries are going up, gas is going up. It seems that everything is going up, right? If it's not going up, it's because they're tricking you, right? Cereal companies, food companies are making smaller portions to keep the prices the same, hoping that you won't find out. But it's all coming to light, right? Now, the second biggest worry among Americans right now is the national debt, okay? The national debt is currently at $28.6 trillion and will be close to $33 trillion by the end of the year, some economists are warning. Now, Democrat Representative Sean Patrick Maloney of New York warned his colleagues in a closed-door meeting that if the election were to happen today, Democrats would lose. So he's essentially cautioned trying to use too many programs that create too much debt in order to sway voters to become Democrats, okay? Now, I know from a poll that I ran on my channel that 92% of you that watch me say that without a stimulus check, you don't support them spending $3.5 trillion, while 8% of you said, regardless of a stimulus check, I support Democrat policies in spending more money. Now, I have to admit, both political parties have added to the $28.6 trillion. So this is not just a one-party problem, okay? Now, over the weekend, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, I hope I said that right, took some heat. He had suggested President Biden tax the American people for every mile they drove. The president said no, because he had promised not to raise taxes on people that earn $400,000 or less. However, on page 2702 of the infrastructure bill, there is a pilot program to start taxing Americans for every mile they drive. The program seeks to tax you at the pump and tax you for every mile you drive. The government said it might need to raise taxes on gas taxes, and that it would likely start putting a heavier tax on oil and gas companies to offset the pollution their product creates. However, oil companies, they are fighting back, but they said that they would be forced to raise prices and pass the extra taxes on to the American people. So the government would get more tax dollars and we would get more taxes, right? But it's a way of saying, hey, we're not taxing you. It's the oil companies that are raising the prices. So if this goes through, which it's in the bill right now, page 2702, the pilot program for taxing every single mile that you drive, we could see higher prices at the pump, higher taxes at the pump, and a tax for every mile you put on your car, whether it's a gas car or an electric car. So taxes, 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 right? Reminds me of a song I wrote. Taxes in the morning, taxes in the evening, taxes at summertime. So they just tax us on everything. Now, I think it's interesting that our forefathers broke away from England for a much lower tax rate than what we're paying today. So I guess the American people have just become accustomed to being taxed to death. All right, now speaking of taxes, you know who isn't being taxed to death according to Senator Bernie Sanders? The billionaires. Sanders pointed out that since 2009, CEO pay has grown by 52.6%. And during that same time, minimum wage has stayed at $7.25 per hour. Okay, so 0% growth on minimum wage, 52.6% gain in CEO pay. No wonder people are slipping into poverty, right? Now, Sanders pointed out that 2 humans in this country have more wealth than 100 million humans in this country. Okay, so two billionaires have more wealth than 40% of the country combined. Now, Sanders says the billionaires must pay. It's because of our country and government that they've been able to become so rich. So now they need to give back to their country and back to their government. $1 billion is a lot of money. Imagine not paying much on billions and billions of dollars. Now, Sanders said the average American home pays 25 times more in taxes than the world's richest man, Jeff Bezos. So he's definitely saying, regardless of what happens, it's time to stick it to the billionaires and make them pay their fair share of taxes. All right, now this is my update for today. As I know more, I will definitely come on and share more. There's a lot that's going to be happening this week. 2 major bills should be passing. That's what's been promised. And then we'll see what the House of Representatives does with that. We should find out the details of the $3.5 trillion spending deal, stimulus checks, cash payments, whatever they want to call it, survival checks, UBI. We're going to find out about all of this, hopefully this week, because that's what they've promised. Okay. Now, before you go, do make sure to check out that giveaway where Casey and I are giving away $10,000 in cash. I just want to say thank you guys so much for being subscribed members of my community and Casey's community. And we're really looking forward to giving that money away. Also, before you go, Check out our generous sponsor, Mac Weldon, and make sure to use my code so you can get a discount on your purchase. Now, before you go, I wish to remind you that you are amazing. I appreciate you being in my community, and I'll see you on the next video.